Hello and welcome to another tutorial in the SAP Ariba Customer Self-Service video series. Today I will be discussing the use of total cost line items in RFPs and reverse auctions in SAP Ariba sourcing. Cost terms in the form of adders allow you to capture the true cost of a good or service with cost components that may not be evident in price alone. Let's take a look. Cost terms can actually come in the forms of numeric adders, subtractors, multipliers, and percent discounts. Today, we'll be talking about adders, although configuration is the same for all these cost terms. These adders, subtractors, multipliers, or percent discounts are determined by the buyer when creating the line item. Then, during bidding, the supplier provides values for the cost terms required. Cost terms can be calculated at a per unit or all unit level, or they can be calculated unassociated to individual line items at the RFP level. Especially if using a total cost auction, market research, strategic definition, and/or an initial RFP are recommended as part of the strategic sourcing process. Let's take a look in the solution to see how these are configured and how they are presented to the supplier. Here I am within an auction. I created this reverse auction using the total cost auction template available to you out of the box. This template actually includes the formulas necessary, so it expedites some of the creation of the line item. So I'll go directly to add content to this auction that I'm running for chemical additives. I'll go ahead and add a line item. I'll call this avobenzone, which will be the chemical additive I'll be procuring today. I'll scroll down here. As you can see, out of the box, we have this total cost formula included. That's why I use this total cost auction template. When we add the adder, the formula will be automatically updated to include that adder. So I'll go ahead and say I have a historic price of 1,000. We'll change the unit of measure to ton. We're talking about a chemical additive. And then we'll go ahead and click Add Term. We'll click to add a new term. And we can give this cost adder a name. So we'll call this shipping. Including cost, we're going to include this as an adder. We'll apply to the cost for the unit. And very importantly, the response required will be for the participant. That's the supplier. We can add another term in addition to shipping. We'll call this one import duties, since we're procuring from suppliers from a few different countries. Again, we'll click Add, New Term. Again, we will include in the cost as an adder, per unit as well. And again, just ensuring that the response required is from the participant, the supplier. We'll click OK. Because this is an auction, we do have to add the bidding rules. So I'll just do a minimum bid decrement of 2%. I'll protect the lead bid with a buffer of 2% as well on the front end and on the back end. Oh, I forgot to add the amount of tons here. I'll add 100 tons. And click Done. Now you can see here I have my line item created with the cost terms, shipping and import duties. And if I click here on the formula for total cost, you'll see that it's automatically bringing in the cost terms I added. It's really quite as simple as that. If you'd like to, you can actually preview this as the supplier. Let's take a look what it looks like from the supplier side. Okay, here I am within the supplier console. You can see I have to give the price per metric ton of avobenzone. And I also have to provide the shipping cost and import duty. Click End Preview. An easy way to quickly create content here is to create the model line item. For example, the chemical component itself with shipping and import duties. And then you can use the simplified Excel import to rapidly multiply these. Now, one important consideration, especially if this is an auction, is that for every cost component you add, you're effectively doubling, or in this case, tripling the number of fields that a supplier will have to fill in. In competitive open auction, we don't want to overwhelm the supplier with too many fields, right? They have to be able to react to real-time market movements. So just keep that in mind as you're creating your lotting strategy, whether you be presenting these items all at once in parallel lots or in a serial fashion. So again, just summing it up, a total cost auction, for example, would have the extended price, which is supplier provided, plus the shipping costs, which would also be supplier provided, plus the import duty, which is also supplier provided, to equal a total cost that is visible to both you, the buyer, and the supplier. Thank you for watching this customer self-service video on creating cost terms to create total cost RFPs and auctions. If you have any questions, you can search cost terms or total cost RFP or total cost auction in the help menu or on SAP Reba Connect, or reach out to your customer engagement executive.